heroes and our icons that came before us. And of course, the struggle looks different. The struggle is that of economic freedom now and not later. If we do not attain freedom now and not later, it means this struggle was futile. It means what they fought for, Albertina Sisulu, will never achieve. If young people in majority are still unemployed in this country, if young people in majority are still hopeless in this country. So to honor this legacy is for all of us to be selfless leaders of the ANC. Amandla, awethu.
Thank you very much, Comrade Zodwa. Harry Mufeng Makhofi. We now going to invite the Secretary General of the Veterans League, one of the daughters of Albertina Sisulu, Omamqina, Melisia, many of those who were part of the women's movement over years. Comrade Ilva McKay herself, an activist of the Women's League, an activist of the civic movement, an activist of Umkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans, a leader in her own right. Amandla.
Amandla. Awethu. Thanks very much, comrades, and good morning to everyone, Program Director, and to the leadership of the ANC, to the National Chairperson, SG, and I'm looking in front of me, Premier from Gauteng, as well as the Deputy Chair of the Women's League, and also to the family. I think on behalf of the Veterans League, we firstly want to say a happy heavenly birthday to Mam Sisulu. That's what we want to say. We hope at some point someone will sing the happy birthday. But we also wanted to say that we have come here as the Veterans League to report, and we want to say we are reporting about the change in the ANC. We are not coming to promise that there's renewal. We are coming to report that the renewal is taking place. As we sit here, we have already had interactions at the level of the political committee of the ANC, and we are unrolling the renewal program in all the provinces. We have political instructors who have been recruited from the ANC Veterans League, from MKLWV, as well as from the ANC's own political education committee. So this work is being done, and 5 pillars of renewal have been identified, with the main pillar being that of mass political education, whereby each and every member of the ANC will be taken through a political program. There will be political education that will be conducted from the highest level to the branch level. The 5 pillars, and I won't take you through each and every one, but to say that the second pillar deals with the membership itself of the ANC, that we need to look at that and we need to find creative ways of dealing with new recruitments as well as the current membership. Third pillar is around the branches of the ANC, that we need to make sure that the branches have direct contact with the communities, as well as having programs that take into account the communities that have to be mobilized. The 4th pillar of the renewal program is that of ensuring that within the organization itself there is attention and sufficient attention paid to the wrongdoing, to the malfeasance in the organization. And as we know, there is an ANC NEC towards the end of the month where these issues will be discussed. And the last principle is that of non-racialism, of non-sexism, democracy, unity, and of unity of the ANC. So that's the commitment, and that's the report we are bringing here today to Mam Sisulu. Amandla.
Long live the Veterans League, long live. Happy birthday, Sisulu, happy birthday. Thank you very much, Comrade Ilva McKay. As she has indicated, it is a birthday, it's not any other day. We celebrate the fact that a giant, a phenomenal woman was born, a woman who loved her family, a woman who brought up her own siblings and sacrificed her own education, thereafter going back to school and came to Gauteng, the then Transvaal, and was amongst those who swelled the ranks of the ANC Youth League, being a female. But we also know that she's one of those women who, had it not been because of the banning orders, surely Sisulu in Michel's Plain would have been elected the president of the United Democratic Front, but she ended up being an honorary because she was under house arrest, Mahlengi. So we celebrate that phenomenal woman, a woman who always stood in when others were incarcerated, when our leaders were in exile, a mother who looked after everybody, but also a midwife and a community health worker. Without any further waste of time, I'm going to invite the Deputy President, Comrade Tulungi, who has also been once upon a time an organizer working under Sisulu, under the United Democratic Front, being an organizer of the Natal Organization of Women. Amandla, watinta bafazi.
Malibongwe ikamala makosi gazima Malibongwe 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 ikamala makosi gazima Libongwe Malibongwe Ikamala Makosikazi. Viva ANC, viva! Happy birthday, ANC Women's League Deputy President Mama Albertina Sisulu. Happy birthday, Albertina Sisulu. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All protocol observed. ANC led by the National Chairperson. Thank you, Program Director. And the ANC in the province led by the Chairperson, and the ANC Women's League in the province of Gauteng led by its Chairperson, and all comrades and our guests, the family ngokukhethekileyo of Mama Albertina Sisulu, Sizithoba Sinbingelela. We are here to celebrate the giant leadership of the ANC Women's League. Sisulu was the first Deputy President of the ANC Women's League inside the country. After the unbanning of the ANC in 1991, she was elected at the Kimberley Conference, National Conference of the ANC Women's League. She deputized the President of the ANC Women's League, Imam Shope, and Sisulu was our leader even before the unbanning of the ANC. Having been the leader, part of the leadership of the UDF, and she was part of those women who revived the FETSWA, the ANC, the Women's League, the women organization that was operating inside the country when the ANC Women's League together with the ANC was banned and they were in exile. So that was Mama Sisulu for us. We took a spear that was left by her. She's the one who taught us how to be a deputy president, and we respect her very much and we celebrate her life. We just want to report today to you, our deputy president of the ANC Women's League, that the Women's League is in the program of renewing ANC Women's League branches. We have political education program that is taking place every Thursday, and we're also embarking on inducting our structures, starting from the PEC's regions to branches, being assisted by the ANC induction, political education to conduct our induction workshops. We just finally want to report to you, Sisulu, that as you are among the women who represented us in the first democratic parliament in South Africa in 1994, you fought for us to have, as women who have babies, young babies, not to leave our babies at home, but be able to bring our babies in parliament, because there should be a facility for babies, for for mothers to nurse their children there, and their children being looked after by parliament. And I'm happy to report that in the 7th parliament, the facility for the babies, for mothers to nurse their babies, will be constructed, and is part of the project of a reconstructing parliament that is said to be completed by 2026. And that is our victory as women. Long live Sisulu, long live. Long live the Deputy President of the ANC Women's League, Sisulu, long live. Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Thank you, Program Director.
Viva Deputy President Lungi Kabashe, viva. Thank you very much, Comrade Lungi. And thanks also for accounting about daycare. And this is one of the projects that Sisulu was passionate about. Many women were trained to set up their daycare centers even in our communities, so that then they can be able to leave their babies, their children behind as they go and work. And this work was done under the Federation of Transvaal Women as a project supported by the anti-apartheid movement globally, and what they were able to do when they went to parliament. But she's also one of the women who we all know that she was a community activist. She did not only belong to the structures of the United Democratic Front, but she belonged with society in her street. She belonged in the group of midwives. She belonged in a group that was involved in adult basic education. She worked with Mamulidi Akomape and Bomme Mutwaledi on the Transvaal Rural Action Committee that was dealing with the rural women, poverty, as well as food security. I'm now going to invite the Secretary General of the African National Congress, Comrade April Mbalula, to then come and convey a message on behalf of the African National Congress. Sisulu ayekone emzabalazweni, Sisulu ayekona sisemzabalazweni, emzabalazweni, 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 Sisulu ayekona sisemzabalazweni, Sisulu ayekona sisemzabalazweni.
Amandla wathinta abafazi, wathinta abafazi, wathinta abafazi, uzakufa finish and clear. Malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Long live. Long live the undying spirit of Mama Sisulu, long live. Long live. Amandla. Representatives of the Sisulu family represented here by the grandchildren, thank you very much for gracing this occasion and for delivering a message on this special day of the anniversary of our stalwart, our mother, our hero. National Chair of the ANC, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, the President and the Deputy President are not here because the President is going to BRICS as of today. The Deputy President is engaged in other commitments of the organization and the second DSG and the TG as well. So we are here and together with the ANC First Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Nomvula Mukonyani, ANC PC members present here, led by the Provincial Chairperson, Comrade Panyaza Lisufi, members of the Regional Executive Committee of Greater Johannesburg, comrades, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and members and ladies and gentlemen of the media gathered here today. Comrades, we are gathered here today to remember and honor a loyal servant of the people to the end, Mama Albertina Sisulu, the daughter of Bonilizwe and Monigazi Tetiwe. Mama Albertina was one of the towering giants of our struggle, of whom it could be said that she was the embodiment of the historic values of the African National Congress. We are here to recall the inspirational life around whom generations of cadres could associate as their own kin. And for that reason, she deservedly wore the crown of Mother of the Nation on her head. Mama Sisulu, as she was affectionately known, belonged to a generation whose mantra was freedom in our lifetime, freedom or death. Mama Sisulu belonged to a generation of freedom fighters, whose only goal was to see the freedom and socio-economic upliftment of all the masses of our people. To her and her generation, there was no need to take an oath of loyalty to the African National Congress, because they voluntarily picked up the spear when even beyond the horizon, there was no ray of hope of material gain. Her humility underpinned her single-mindedness to serve our people, relentlessly even on the face of danger to a person and a family. As a result, she enjoyed a life without her husband, Walter Sisulu, whom alongside other Rivonia trialists were given life sentences and hauled into the harsh conditions of Robben Island. As the class of 2024 matriculants start their exams today around the country, they can take inspiration from Mama Sisulu, who excelled at school to the extent that she won a 4-year high school scholarship to study at Mariazell College. Today, as we face a number of challenges, both as the ANC and as a country, it is important that we pause and reflect on this profoundly inspirational life from the humble beginnings of Tsomo in the Eastern Cape. As the ANC will continue to draw inspiration from her life as we seek to rebuild the organization premised on the renewal agenda we have set for ourselves. In her name, we'll continue to consolidate the gains of 3 decades of freedom and democracy. In her name, we'll tell no lies and claim no easy victories, and only submit to the truth about the record of national transformation whilst admitting our failings. Equally determined to correct our missteps and accelerate delivering services to our people in order to ensure that a better life for all becomes a lived reality. We tell no lies when we say that the ANC has exceedingly transformed South Africa from the ruins of an economy that was designed to cater for a minority. But we are the first to admit that the pressing challenges of poverty, unemployment and inequality require that we find new ways to aggressively drive transformation and reignite hope for our people. And as we do so, we must redouble our efforts to decisively exercise our determination against corruption and malfeasance in all its manifestations. We continue to make strides towards the rebuilding and renewal of the ANC in the glorious mold of integrity that was synonymous with the generation of Mama Sisulu. This weekend, comrades, will convene a special National Executive Committee of the ANC. This National Executive Committee will focus on two things. The first issue will be to finalize terms of reference of the Integrity Commission and to finalize all the outstanding cases of integrity that were presented to the National Executive Committee. The integrity is part and parcel of the renewal agenda of the ANC. Gone are the days where the ANC will be complicit, ambiguous about the fight against corruption. Today, many of our comrades who face challenges against the law in terms of corruption and all of that, whenever they are arrested, they are required by the ANC to step aside. Renewal is painful like that. Even the people you know as your comrades, as your friends, as people that you love, but once you step on the wrong direction, of which you are required by the law of the Republic to stand in courts and prove your innocence, the ANC says those comrades must be given an opportunity to go in the courts and clear their names if possible. Gone are the days when ANC members will wear T-shirts to support comrades who are faced with corruption charges. Umbutho wesizwe we-ANC, umbutho wabantu, ke lekgotla la setjhaba. So comrades, ixesha lokuthi kukwazenzele kwa ANC liphelile ke ngoku. The second item the NEC will deal with is a diagnostic overview of the state of organization. We went to an election. In the election, we said we suffered a strategic setback. For the first time, the ANC dropped below 50%. We will examine the state of organization. That's the beginning of an era. We know, comrades, we did not do well in the election. And many of our volunteers and comrades fought and participated in the election and campaigned very hard for the ANC to retain power overwhelmingly. And we failed, comrades. Among others, the state of organization of the ANC leave much to be desired. We are not at the level we are supposed to be as the ANC. The National Executive Committee will take stock of this state of organization and will also answer that question without just examining desktop analysis, diagnostic report, but will also say what needs to be done about the state of organization. Now, what needs to be done is to rebuild the ANC, and that's what we are going to do. So, that National Executive Committee, when we rise on Monday, we will launch what is called the foundational course on political education. Going back to the basics, Political Education Department has finalized this syllabus. Umama Ilva was talking about elements of it in terms of renewal. We are now all going to go through political education, foundational. We must not assume that we all understand where we are going. We must undergo the program of political education. As we rebuild the ANC in a massive way and recruitment drive, it will be accompanied by a program of qualitative development of the cadreship. We organize thousands and thousands of members, but amongst them, we know very few will lead and understand the pathway of the liberation struggle. So we'll be taught a whole lot of things the history of the national democratic struggle. Omama Sisulu, indlela ababeyihamba, what did it entail and what does it mean, and even today for me and you who are at the helm of leading the African National Congress. So this NEC meeting is a special action-oriented meeting of the ANC this coming weekend. Very important, comrades, that we understand where we are going and what needs to be done. We are seized with these matters, including rebuilding the ANC here in Gauteng. And I've seen that our visit to Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal and other provinces have been left for misinterpretation and lies and distortions. When we visit Gauteng to strengthen the organization. We don't visit structures because we want to disband. We only disband informed by justifiable circumstances, organizationally and politically, that we decide that the structure must be disbanded. We were not elected to disband structures at random. Now leadership reflect. We're still going to come back, Comrade Panyas, to Gauteng. After the NEC sit down with you and tell you your weaknesses and tell you your strength and work with you as a province to build a strong African National Congress here in Gauteng. Sikwazi uphatha maqabani singancazelana. Okwangoku siyancazelana siyacenga. You know, there are comrades who speak like as if we won. We didn't win. We lost, actually. Here in Gauteng, we are at 35%. Ngoku sifuna uphatha singacengi mntu. Siphathe sisodwa. Sikwazi ukukhulula abantu bakuthi. Idabi lesizwe, i-National Democratic Revolution, isengcephekweni. It's in a precarious position. Apho ke sizawukwazi ukukhokhela sisiya phambili uguqula impilo zabantu bakuthi sizenze ngcono ngaphandle koncazelana. Sihamba sicenga sifuna abantu. Ndiyawazibona lamaqembu sinawo nakwi-GNU. Xa ubajonga bonke bayafana aba bantu. Akho mntu ubhetele ugqitha omnye. Into enye le. I-ANC into efuneka ibe yiyo kuphatha. Ukwazi iphathe ngokukhululeka. Sikwazi uqhuba idabi lenkululeko yabantu baseMzantsi Afrika. We must govern, comrades, and lead. And we have made an analysis why we are in this position. And that's why we are not arrogant. We have admitted to our mistakes, and we know what are those mistakes. We have admitted that it is important to deepen transformation in our country, which is an irreversible position of the ANC. Even in this GNU, the ANC leads as a majority party. The National Democratic Revolution in this GNU will be defended and will be led, and redress will be key in relation to what we seek to do. Comrades, by so doing, we are certain that we will have honored the memory and legacy of the giants of our struggle. Heroines such as Mama Sisulu, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Charlotte Maxeke, Ruth First, Adelaide Tambo, and many other pioneering revolutionaries. Their sacrifices laid a solid foundation for the freedom we enjoy today. We are here today, comrades, because we are eternally grateful for the freedom you have fought and the price you paid, so we can live in a free democratic society. We are here today because young women and young men must know that they are free today because you gallantly fought for their freedom. We are here today because we seek to infuse your spirit of selfless struggle to the current youthful generation, so that it must consider their own freedom as indivisible to the freedom of others. so that the current youthful generation should consider their freedom too, so that the youth of today may consider their freedom, so that the youth of today may recognize the injustice meted against any people anywhere in the world as being meted against their very own. We are here today because we seek to recommit ourselves to the humane world that you fought for, and that injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. We are here because, like you, Mama Sisulu, and your generation, we too dare not to claim that we are as human as any other, and that racism and sexism and any form of discrimination has no place in our beautiful land. We are here because we will never forget our history, and that will continue to fight for equal opportunities for all. We are here today, comrades, to derive inspiration so that we regain our majority leadership of government, so that we can continue on the historic mission and developmental trajectory that you set for us. We are here because we believe our future lies in our hands, and that unity remains the indispensable DNA of the African National Congress. Like they said in the UDF, united we stand, divided we fall. Unity to us is sacrosanct. It is important to guard this unity jealously, but unity is unity of purpose, is unity based on the program of action. If there is no program of action and there is no work that is being done in our branches and our organization, we then become idle minds which breed evil ideas. But if we work very hard, siyasebenza makhosikazi, niyasebenza, anidumi nje nisiye eParliament, funeka niphathe ngoba amakhosikazi aduma esiye emsebenzini. And nina, you are the backbone of the ANC. Ungaya nasemasebeni, uye nakuma volunteer, ngoba nabakhonkela lama volunteer. Makungabi lula ke xa sifaka abafazi esihlalweni basuke lula. Nani bafazi ningabakhusela abanye abafazi, ngoba nigcina senihamba nomoya, niyeka abafazi bagxothwe esihlalweni. Akukho lula for omama uphatha kweli lizwe. Ngenye imini sifuna omama bangobe ngo-national chairperson. Xa kusuka utata uGwede, anditsho ukuthi uzawusuka, usezawuphatha, uyambona nawe. Ngenye imini omama nabo baphathe apha embuthweni, anikhaphanga thina apha, nize nizophatha nani. But ke maqabane njengomama uSisulu basikhokhela bari ka Sesotho mangwana o tshwara thipa ka bohaleng o fasa tharika lefela wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo uza kufa finish and clear. Ngomama ngo-1952 abasikhokhela ebunzimeni bangena ePitoli, waphuma uFoster ngefestile wabaleka ekhutshwa ngomama. Namhlanje makube njalo maqabane, sithi xa sikhumbula eliqhawekazi eligorha sazi ukuthi le nkululeko sayifumana ngenxa yokuthi omama bayikhokhela behamba ngaphambili. Once more, comrades, we thank the Sisulu family for allowing us to honor the mother of the nation here today. Namhlanje there will be a memorial lecture this evening at Orlando Hall, and we thank the family for allowing us to be here at the graveside and to remember Umama Sisulu and celebrate, remember her today in the graveside. Nani maqabane sizokhumbula eligorha kazi ukuthi le mini yanamhlanje ye 21 zika October mayengagqithi nje ingathi akwenzakalanga nto, masilikhumbule elisuku. This coming weekend we will be remembering Oliver Tambo. So this is the month of heroes in the calendar of our struggle, Ndiyabulela ngalo mazwi on behalf of the National Executive Committee, the officials and everyone ngokuthi nisinikeze lithuba sizobeka lamazwi apha phambi kwenu. Enkosi ndiyabulela. Amandla. Matla. Thank you.
Viva Secretary General, viva. Happy birthday, Albertina Sisulu, happy birthday. Long live the fighting spirit of Albertina Sisulu. Long live. Comrades, we have been joined by the other members of the family. Here, Untombe Kaya, who is here with us. Ucomrade Elioti, Ucomrade Usipo, Ucomrade Uvusi, Ucomrade Unkuli, the baby, who is also here with us. We wish to welcome all of you as we celebrate the birth of Mama Albertina Sisulu. We are now going to proceed to the second part of this program. I'm going to invite the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League, Comrade Unoktula. Ayatu mama kosigazi, ayatu mama kosigazi, ayongene parlamente, ayatu mama kosi. Back to the list.
Amandla! Amandla! Happy birthday, Mama Sisulu, happy birthday! Spilele, Mama Sisulu, spilele! Pepezela, moya ka Mama Sisulu, pepezela! Viva ANC, viva! Viva the Alliance Partners, viva! Viva the Youth League, viva! Ufasimba chukujela, Ufasimba chukujela. Amayanga yanga ya roka, mayanga yanga ya roka. Aichukucha, mayanga yanga, aichukucha. Siyazibudisela na ku Veterans League. Comrades, let me greet the leadership of the ANC in our midst. With the chairperson, Ubabugwet, Mandashe, and the Secretary General, and also the leadership of the province. I can't leave Mama Action outside. Sigulendo Yabo Mama, the first Deputy Secretary of the ANC. There's also the chairperson of the province, Ukomrade Upanyaza, also in our midst. But we also have the Deputy President of the Women's League present here, representing all of us. Let me take the opportunity, comrade, and rather say all protocol observed, so that no one will feel being left outside. Our special greetings to the family of Umama Usisulu ngale mini balulekileyo inkulu kangaka yoba celebrate ubombakhe. We appreciate the role that she has made and that she has played during the time she was still with us. We are saying spirit sakhe sawuhlala sikunye nathi, even if akekho kodwa siya multiplier sona. That's why today we are able to stand here, not ukukapha iANC. We are standing here because today we have worked in partnership with our mother body as Kapanga. My role, it is very simple, Bomama the Women's League, is to assist with the order of the writs. We're gonna start with the family, Kamama Usisulu. Izawuza yonke ngaphambili ifamily kaMama Usisulu, led by the granddaughter Ayanda. bazomapha ngaphambili benze lokho bacebileyo ukuthi bacela ukwenza. After that bayithathe ke i-wreath as family bayoyibeka kule ndawo kufanelekileyo uba ibekwe kuyo ngembeko nangesithozela. I now call the family of Umama Sisulu ukuthi ize ngaphambili.
Okay. Thank you, comrades. Thank you very much. Is it on?
Amandla! Amandla! We're now handing over, comrades, to the family. Let's afford them the opportunity. Thank you so much. Over to you. I think so.
Good morning, comrades. All protocol observed. We have members of the Sisulu family here. The one who wasn't mentioned is my uncle Uchongumzi. My mom Ulindiwe would have loved to have been here today. She's just not. She's not well. So we are here on her behalf. Sisulu were not blessed with singing voices. So we're not going to sing.
We'll sing happy birthday. We can start with
okay, well please, choir, please help us sing happy birthday, yeah? And then we'll chime in the background. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray! No happy. Hooray!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sing ingoma.
Ningaza ngapha ke manje ngizonyuka ngapha. Okay.
Hello, sicela ifoto nani nabo tu. Sicela isithombe senu nabo.
Lapha ke
Yavakala abantu abangoma siyayicelebrate le mini kaMama Sisulu in style. As fast saqhuba kakuhle angabi sahlala phansi usihlalo we-ANC unational chairperson sicela ze ngaphambili the one and the only andizolibizela gama uTata uBhede Natasha ikhona la meeting popular
awusukile futhi baba ngithi mina hayi cha ngiyabuya
Sisulu wayekhona ezabalazwe Masisulu wayekhona ezabalazwe amandla akazobasetla unational chairperson sicela our own and the only and Matas, the Secretary General, the patron of our own. The one at the phone. Zabalazwe. 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 Siyabonga SG. Comrade, we are moving with speed. Singalemini ibalulekileyo sizawuhambisa ke ngoku umuntu opopula owaziwayo emphakathini omama uSisulu babengazi ukuthi bangaze baproduce omama abasibongo kangaka abathiwa xa bebizwa ngomama action not because nje ngenxeni yemisebenzi yabo ucomrade the first USG of the African National Congress Comrade Nomvula Makonyane. ndiyaxolisa makabani ngomane ndiyithatha imikhuba kamandi kodwa imikhuba kakuhle imikhuba kabuhlungu etshikelelise. Siyacela makabane ubana ngaba umama wethu i-Deputy President uComrade uLungi Gabashe of the Women's League of the ANC aze ngaphambili. Emzabalazweni, 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 siyabonga ke makabane Nkosi kakhulu xa sesifika ekugqibeleni sicela uComrade uPhanyaza uhoyi hoyi yiprespan naslepspan siphi span lento yethu yejeka utata uPhanyaza uthi ngoba yimini kaMama Sisulu akakhenzi le ndilisekileyo athi umama oku-officials the provincial leadership ye-ANC in the province ibe nguye oyowunika imbeko ayobeka irif kamama from the place. Singatula ke makabane. Siyabonga Comrade uPhanyaza akufundwa credentials namhlanje kodwa ke eyokugqibela i-wreath that must be laid there sizayibekelwa ngumama we-Veterans League not nje veterans eyamanyanyane a-statement ezithi but our own Veterans League ize ngaphambili umama uImva the Secretary General of the Veterans League, the Liberation Movement of the ANC. Siyabonga kakhulu mama. You will never come alright. You will never come alright. As bengahlanga ke sonke isikhokheli sesiyamuva ke ngoku siya kwithuneli katata uWalter Sisulu. The national officials will lead with the rest of the leadership of the leagues and the leadership of the province. National chairperson will assist. Yole alekati, yole alekati, yole alekati, yole alekati, leadership here ANC with the leads and that of the province hosting us. Kuthiwa ke Makabane ufakazwa ngohlobo ngawe xa uthe wawusebenzela umbutho waze wayoma ekugqibeleni. Sifakaza kanje asazi kuba kuyawufakazwa njani ngani. Xa usebenze ngendlela wayinikezela i-patron sayi-appreciate sayibona imisebenzi yakho i-ANC will never forget you. This is what we do. Xa sibonakalisa inhlonipho nenkathalo nokubulela iziqhamo esizidlayo zokuphila negazi nemisebenzi yabantu abathe bashiya nanku umzekelo ophilayo Makabane. Ngaloo mazwi sifuna ukuthi siyabulela kakhulu kusikhokhelo se-ANC sibulele nakuMakabane lapha base sibiza ke uComrade intombi ekhaya uba azosenzela i-vote of thanks. Bantu abangomama mayihlangane ngoma maninye enkulu le
yazi into enomama inento enomculo yeyona nto isenza siphile thina ingoma uzayiqamba umama le ngoma so that sonke sive kakuhle simlandele sonke si-united behind her because siyayivala ngokungale ndlela masiyivaleli noko ngento eshoqololo thatha over ke mama sesiyahenda over kulo ngokeli yeregion
Amanda! Amanda! Viva National Congress! Viva! Viva! Viva Mbuto Mama! Viva! Viva! Ngale mino mama namhlanje size apha ngokubizwa yi-ANC sizobulela happy birthday to mama wethu sibulela amandla ukuthi ANC ikwazile ukuthi namhlanje ikhumbule ithambo lasemayihleni lakwaqaqana so xa singamayihla sithi kwinkokheli ezilapha siyabulela ngoba zithe zashiya imisebenzi yazo bayeka konke bebekwenza emizini yabo nabasemsebenzini basicela ilifu yokuthi mabeze apha bazokungaza nathi elilanga likhulu kangaka namhlanje so ngokutsho kanjalo ke ndithi ke ma-comrades amahle akathixo othixo ongumyihla ke phofu wakwasisulu siyabulela kakhulu ngokuza kwenu apha izocelebrata elilanga likamama wethu omhle kangaka apha emhlabeni akekho umntu omhle njengo-Albertina ophikisayo kangasondela athi ukhona omhle semhle nanamhlanje siyabulela ke kuyo yonke into enithena senzela yona nkosi
Amanda, thank you very much, comrade. Let's thank the leadership of the African National Congress, the ANC Women's League, the Veterans League, the Youth League, alliance partners who are here, particularly the Sisulu family. The next phase for this program will be the cleaning program in Orlando, and later in the afternoon there will be a lecture to celebrate Mama Albertina Sisulu. We want to acknowledge the presence of the Provincial Executive Committee of the South African Communist Party, Comrade Kosi. Thank you very much. We won't do it again. Comrades, Asambenike, it's ANC Day. Amanda, long live the spirit of Albertina Sisulu, long live. Long live the spirit of Albertina Sisulu, long live. Watinta bafazi, watinti momodo, malibombe. Thank you, comrades. Comrades, no bala, comrades. PEC of the Women's League, can you come for a photo of here? Can you come for a photo of the Women's League National, Women's League in the province, Women's League in the region, please come for a photo up here. Hi. Loiso, Izani regional leadership the ANC Wazani. Let's come for a photo op here.
Every day. And that's why you're saying no, because every day you always do this. How? No, you're the baby. This man. I'm 29 years old. Yeah, Bello. The ANC is not ready.
All right. Okay, colleagues. Good morning. As you know, we're here at the cemetery to honor Umama Sisulu on the occasion of her birthday. I'm here with the Secretary General, who will speak to you briefly, and then we can have a Q&A. The Secretary General is joined by the Secretary General of the African National Congress Women's League, Comrade Noguthula Nqaba. Over to you, SG.
We are here to celebrate, commemorate the life of Mama Sisulu on the occasion of his birthday here at the Croasis Cemetery. And we started this morning. It's an important day of remembrance. For us, it's not an occasion that can just pass. And we thank the Sisulu family for giving us an opportunity to be here to remember the hero, the giant, and stalwart veteran of our movement, and to come and drink from this well in order to enrich our history with the traits of caliber of Mama Sisulu's leadership skills. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SG. I am going to ask that you then take questions, and please also direct certain questions that may need to be responded to by the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League. Any takers, newsroom?
Junior Kumalo from Newsroom Africa. SG, I think the question would be asked on some of the children from the Sisulu family, Lindiwe Sisulu, Max Sisulu, were they invited to this event? Because we didn't see them attending this event today.
The family was invited, there's no doubt about it, and so you would have heard from the grandchildren. So families decide who must attend, and we are honored for that, because they carry on the baton, and they also need to learn from special occasions of this nature. The Sisulu family is a very organized, dignified family, and so they are very organized in a way that an occasion like this, it would have been, a misnomer that we celebrate this anniversary without family. And so, for whatever reasons, and also because we felt that today cannot just pass, we invited them, and we are grateful that they responded in the way that they did. Thank you very much.
In your speech, you spoke about the renewal and the program that we're going to expect this weekend that's going to be discussed, especially around the finalization of the terms of reference, if I'm not mistaken, of the Integrity Commission. If you could just elaborate a little bit on how the Commission is doing its work, despite the fact that those terms of reference have not been finalized. And in terms of the renewal of the ANC, there's a lot of I would say suggestion or speculation that this GNU really is the beginning of the end of the ANC. Can you just address that?
Can I respond? GNU can be beginning and the end of the ANC. There is a problem of ideological and conceptual understanding of the tactical maneuver. The question, the tactical maneuver being the GNU, in a situation where you are faced with less than 50% majority. The ANC is by far the largest party. The outcry and those who are criticizing GNU have got issues with the DA. And we say let's leave it to history to be the judge. Us, in terms of understanding the GNU, it is a tactical maneuver from an understanding that the ANC suffered a strategic setback in this election. We need to regroup and move forward. At the end of the day, the masses of our people will either retain the ANC in terms of recouping the numbers on the basis of the work that the ANC does in leading the GNU, or otherwise if the ANC drops the ball. At the present moment, we are hard at work, as we have reflected in the 100 days. The country is stable. The economy is showing signs of a great recovery going forward, which will be of great benefit for our people, particularly in programs of job creation. We are winning the war in relation to the question of cost of living, petrol dropping in terms of high prices, and at the same time, the biggest achievement will be that the households must also feel this drop, and that is what is important for us. So the conceptual misunderstanding about what is GNU and the confusion, it's a process on its own that will be appreciated with time. It cannot be the beginning and the end. It's a tactical maneuver in itself. So it is something that the ANC, in terms of its majority, the largest party, it has actually retained. Government is led by the ANC. Many ministries are led by ANC ministers. We've got 10 political parties in government, and we are moving forward very well in terms of the GNU. So what is important is for us to deliver. And then what was your another question? Okay, the terms of reference of the Integrity Commission have been finalized. It's just one or two things that will be wrapped up. The Integrity Commission is functioning very well. This coming weekend, we will deal with matters of integrity to finalize those outstanding issues in terms of the terms of reference. But over and above that, we will get reports that have not been tabled before the NEC with recommendations. We'll also reflect on the past. In the last NEC, where reports were tabled and noted, the NEC will take decisions on those matters. And then we'll report to you after the NEC whether the decisions that have been taken by the NEC on the work of the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission must work. It has got our support. We are now post the elections. We are taking the reports of the Integrity Commission to the NEC as promised. The NEC must reflect and take decisions as it is required by the guidelines and also by the guidelines and the resolutions of conference. So this meeting will focus on integrity issues, outstanding cases, terms of reference. Will also focus on the outstanding cases that need to be finalized.
SABC? I just want a clarity-seeking question. How many people still need to present themselves before the Integrity Commission of the ANC? Just remind our viewers about that. And then furthermore, have discussions started as to who is or who the ANC will be fielding as a candidate for the mayor of Mogale City? Sis Nongtula, you heard there on stage, Balula had said that it's time for Abafazi with Bapaite. Will we be seeing a woman occupying leadership positions come the next conference of the ANC?
You will answer the question that is directed to the SG of the Women's League. The question in terms of what you are directing to us is about renewal.
The Integrity Commission, how many people have presented themselves before it? And Mogale City as well, who the ANC will be fielding?
Okay. I need to clarify the point that the Integrity Commission is functioning and working. So anyone who's facing whatever challenges they are facing, they present themselves. The Integrity Commission then present those reports to the National Executive Committee for decision making. So we've got the reports that we have received, and they will be presented to the NEC. So anyone can present themselves to the Integrity Commission voluntarily, or otherwise they can be called by the Integrity Commission. So the Integrity Commission, when finalizing their reports, they present them to the Secretary General. The Secretary General then present the reports to the officials and straight to the NEC. And then the NEC then take a decision on the recommendations of the Integrity Commission. Those who are affected, if they are NEC members, they recuse themselves in terms of that discussion. So that's what actually happens. We have not finalized Mogale City, and then when it is finalized, we will interview and then take a decision about who's the candidate. At the present moment, the province is coordinating those activities, and at the same time, we're working with them to finalize.
Thank you. SG? Okay. Thank you very much. I think we take the challenge. We accept the challenge from what the SG said of the ANC said earlier on. And for some reasons or another, there's a specific position that he mentioned of the national chairperson. So I think that's what you are interested on. Well, in any position that is available and where we have a leadership that is a woman and ready and fit to stand the test of time and have all the capabilities and qualities that are required in terms of the criteria from the guidelines. And if that comrade meet all those requirements, we will occupy any position, not only that of the example made by the SG, but also even that of the president or even the Secretary General position for that matter, if it's available. So we are declaring, if that is the issue, that we are going to capture and close all the ranks and occupy any space available. But we are always very clear
that it should not be done on the basis of a quota. It should be done because a comrade has met all the requirements, because there are guiding document, there are internal processes of the organization of the ANC that would then guide us at a branch level, because it is the branches of the ANC that decides and dictates as to who must then be occupying a particular position in a conference of the ANC. And because we are members of the Women's League in good standing, therefore we are members of the ANC and we have interest in those positions. We always say the time is now and the future is female. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, yourself, sister, and then we'll end with Linda's newsroom again.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Sanda Mboleko from the Sunday Times. This is for the SG of the Women's League. Your honest reflection of the state of the Women's League at this point in time. Would the late struggle stalwarts such as Mama Albertina Sisulu be proud of the Women's League and its influence in the broader mother body of the ANC?
Definitely, we are very proud. With some challenges, because we know that issues of gender parity are informed by a system that is more patriarchal, and it's not something that it's a walkover, that overnight you can resolve and say that indeed what we want, we have managed to get it. Even in our mother body, the ANC, we are also living within that kind of an influence of an old system that is more patriarchal, and that kind of make women to feel inferior than the other. And the SG even said ourselves, we have a tendency as women of undermining each other, the pull down syndrome of not giving each other an opportunity, even though without being put under pressure, the SG of the ANC, he said it voluntarily, that the time is now, here are the opportunities, grab them. And he is actually talking to us and encouraging us as women to say, here is the space, let's occupy it, and discouraging that kind of a tendency of not undermining each other and not taking each other and support each other as women in occupying those positions. And if it was indeed because of the work done by Mama Sisulu, we wouldn't be talking this language. We wouldn't be having a leader of the ANC that appreciates the role and the responsibilities and the impact meaningfully that can be played by women in this country, not only in government or in private sector, but starting from the ANC that has policies that talks about 50-50 and addressing issues of gender parity, and also making sure that we participate equally with our male counterparts in ensuring that we are liberated in terms of the skills and we are empowered in terms of the knowledge and understanding what is required of us. Something that we cannot sleep and say we will get those positions. It is a work in the process. We're hoping that indeed, finally, with the kind of the SG that we have in the ANC, that is forever available and support us in any kind of support that we are looking for, resource-wise, and also his availability, and ensuring that in meetings of the ANC we are always given an opportunity and we are listened to. And we have done it proudly so in ensuring that we don't drop the ball from the giants that have left us and that we stand on their shoulder. Because remember, there was an issue of 50-50 that we were talking about it in the GNU, and we pleaded with the leadership through the SG and the president of the state that accommodate women irrespective, but can we get that number? Well, there is we fell short because of the other parties from the opposition, but from the ANC we have done our best. Even the 60-40 principle in Mpumalanga and Northwest in the provincial executive, through the support of the SG and also the collective of the ANC, and the pressure also and the influence that we give the opportunity to express our views, we have managed to get that being corrected. Today in Mpumalanga and Northwest, they have amended and corrected the mistake that they've committed, and we have women there 60 and 40 the male counterpart. So those are the things that we have, many that we have achieved, but those are key, and one or two that we can reflect on them, at least responding to that question. Thank you very much.
Can we be succinct with the last two colleagues?
Okay, very quickly. SG, last week we saw the former spokesperson of the ANC appear in court. He had indicated that he was going to write to you and indicate that he would be stepping aside. Has he written to you? Has he appeared before the Integrity Commission of the ANC? And just lastly, the ANC step-aside policy applies only to ANC members. But here in Joburg, we've seen the former mayor, Kabelo Kamanda, who is still an MMC, being arrested. What does the ANC do in such a situation where a leader in society who is part of an ANC coalition is arrested? Do you speak to that party? What is the ANC doing in that situation? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The spokesperson have written to us and you have made a public pronouncement, which is most welcome. And we appreciate the steps the organization have taken. And he has written to us and embraced the decision of the organization and voluntarily step aside. And today I will brief the officials and the NWC about this decision. Over the weekend I'll brief the NEC about that. So that matter is settled with Comrade Pule. With regard to Kabelo Kamanda, we don't interfere in other political parties. He's a member of Al-Jama and he leads Al-Jama. It is Al-Jama that must take its own independent decisions. If he was a member of the ANC, he will be required to step aside voluntarily, or otherwise they will have to be forced to do so. So in this instance, we as a party have undergone a difficult period where leaders, when they appear or arrested for corruption, they mobilize structures, their T-shirts flying left and right in courts and all of that. We have now said, not in our name. When you are faced with challenges, face them head on. And then many of our comrades have gone through this. Mike Mabuya Kulu is an example of this. And many of our comrades have gone through this without mobilization. And then went to court, cleared their names in court, and that's what has actually happened. In terms of the courts, courts are guided by jurisprudence, which is a presumption of innocence until proven otherwise, and that no one is above the law. And that is the jurisprudence of the country. And it doesn't mean if you step aside, you are guilty. The courts and the constitution of the country guarantees you, in terms of this principle, that you are presumed innocent. In terms of the party, we give you time to face these challenges and the accusations in a court of law. And that's what is important for the ANC. So it is not just thinking, it is happening all the time in our organization. We've got very senior comrades in our party which have faced these challenges. Some are very close to some of us, we are friends and all of that. But at the end of the day, the law of the ANC is the law of the ANC, agreed to by all members, and it must be adhered to. So as a renewal is grinding in the party, it will come with this, to understand that the party, the ANC, must exist forever, long after ourselves as individuals.
Last on my side, your reaction as a political party with regards to what we're seeing unfolding in Eastern Cape with mass murders, people have been shot in numbers in one particular time, and then in provinces like Gauteng and Limpopo, we're seeing incidents of contaminated food that's killing our children.
We are going to intervene in a big way with regard to spaza shops issue. We are in charge. We are a government. Where we are in charge, there must be laws that must be respected and that they must be enforced. Otherwise, if the state is weak in terms of the rule of law, the masses will take the law in their hands. We need to work with the police, using the laws of the country, to ensure that we deal with this challenge. It's a law enforcement part, the question of the spazas, on the other hand. But on the other hand, it's a bigger challenge of business, them being supported on the ground. I come from Botshabelo, my township. When I go there, I see majority of the spaza shops, small shops that were there have disappeared. And then most of them are in the hands of foreigners. And then these foreigners are accused of selling cheaper goods to our people, but at the same time some are poisonous. It's a problem. It's a problem because then it means where do they order this food that they sell to our people at a cheaper rate? The wholesale arrangement in the Republic, how is it manifesting itself? So as a party, as the ANC, we must be at the helm of those struggles. At the headquarters, I will be convening the cluster of ministers to give answers to this, to work with our provinces. We can't lament when we're in power and complain with the rest of society. As government, we must give leadership in relation to this matter, and it's quite urgent and important. And we must not be ad hoc about it. You know, it must not be like the tap and the leaves way. We open it when there is a crisis and then we close it when the noise dies. We must be consistent in terms of regulating spaza shop set up in our country. And that must be durable. From the point of view of the ANC, we will mobilize society behind action that is taken by government. And that is what is important, and that's what we are going to do. And very soon, in the next coming weeks, we will announce not our plans, action plan for all South Africa townships must respond to this question of the spazas. It's very important. And that's what it means by ANC providing leadership to society. It means we must lead around issues that affect our people, positive and negative. Mobilize the churches and everyone else around a common program of action for common good of our nation. So we are going to ensure that we rally society behind actions that in terms of the law regulated by government, but over and above that, action that ensures that those that are illegal, we close them down. Simple as that. And that's what is important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With that, colleagues, the program continues into Soweto. Look out for the advisory. Thank you.
Of course, that was the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, alongside there the ANC spokesperson, Mahlengi Bego Mutsiri, and of course the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League, Ms. Nokuthula Nqaba, just also speaking to members of the media on the sidelines of the wreath-laying ceremony at the grave of Albertina Sisulu. Of course, today is a birthday, and of course you would know that they actually came here to celebrate her life and her times. But I think most importantly, just speaking to the Secretary General of the ANC, he had touched that this weekend there will be a special NEC, and of course it will be a 3-day NEC, and we'll be discussing, the terms of the reference of the Integrity Commission, just finalizing those. You would know that there are a number of cases. You go back as far as Digital Vibes, Phala Phala. You've got the recent issue of the Minister, Thembisi Melane. And right now, he's just touched on the issue of the former spokesperson of the ANC, Mr. Pule Maba, who has written to the Secretary General. And of course, by now, South Africans, you know that he has stepped aside pending his court case. The ANC NEC, I beg your pardon, will also reflect and give a diagnostic review of, the organization, the state of the organization. As you know that in the May 29 polls, the ANC had dropped from 57.50% in 2019 to 40% now. And we know that the provinces of KZN and Gauteng didn't do so well, electorally. And of course, the SG of the ANC, the Secretary General of the ANC, just also clarifying there that no PEC will be disbanded and state that the ANC needs to actually rebuild structures. Onto other cases as well, like Mogale City, other issues as well, like Mogale City. We saw the ATM's Danny Tupane actually resigning before a motion of no confidence against him that was tabled by the PAC, I beg your pardon, was actually tabled, and he had said that process is still actually ongoing as to who the ANC's mayoral candidate will be. A lot of people have said that it may be the current speaker right now, like he said, but of course the ANC Secretary General also just saying that that process will still unfold, and no names have been decided or concluded on as far as that. But we also saw there Ms. Nokuthula Nqaba, who's the ANC Secretary, ANC Women's League Secretary General, also saying that women also need to rise to the occasion, and occupy leadership positions within the ANC. It can't be that women are always afforded positions like Deputy Secretary General or, deputy to the chairs. It's time that women actually occupy those spaces of leadership. And she had said that they're actually going to, as the ANC Women's League, rise to the occasion or to the challenge that was meted out there by the ANC Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula. Of course, the program still continues. Members of the ANC Women's League and ANC officials will be going to Soweto, cleaning schools, and just working all in the life and times and the memory there of the late Albertina Sisulu. With that said, it's back to you in studio, Ayanda.